asset. So, we are going to investments, right. So, then investments. So, under balance sheet statement of financial position, this is another maybe non-current asset, maybe a current asset. Treasury bill, maybe treasury bill is a current asset, treasury bond is a non-current asset, right. So, then we may have investments. Investment, we can say that basically financial asset, right, financial asset, or some of the investment stock, it may be investment in subsidiary, investment in associate, investment in joint ventures, right. Whatever the investments you have, so then in the books you have a debit balance in the sense, once you are doing your investment, whatever the resource, cash, credit, debit to investment. So, the investment balance based on the entity, investment balance may be vary. Some of the entities fully focus about the investment. Some of the entities, they are having very minimal investment balance. They don't have FDs, they don't have stock investment, debenture investment, treasury bill investment. They may have 2 or 3 investment. So, then the process may be very easy. So, some of the companies, their main focus is about the investment, like a asset management company, a kind of a holding company. So, then they do different investment during a period. So, if it is so, you have to focus about the process, you have to do a walkthrough, you can do TOC, you can do substantive procedures, right. Under substantive procedures, what you can do is definitely you can call confirmation, right. So, then keep remember that you have to call confirmation from the whatever the party who issue that instrument. Otherwise, you can't get confirmation from an intermediary party, agent or kind of a custodian. So, then if it is a treasury bill or treasury bond, so then who is the party issued that? Government, central bank treasury division issued the treasury bill and bond. You have to get central bank confirmation, Lanka secure confirmation, right. So, then you can't depend on the only the broker's confirmation, because the broker can mislead your portfolio, right. So, then confirmation, the confirmation should be original confirmation, right. You can cross check the investment value with the book value. So, then once you are cross checking with that, you have to consider the accrued interest as well. You are getting confirmation for fixed deposit. Normally fixed deposit, they accrue the interest, right. The fixed deposit value may be embedded with the this interest portion. You have to cross check with the accrued interest plus fix that fixed amount, fixed capital amount with the book value. So, that is the requirement. So, then what you can do is you have to check the interest calculation, interest accrual, and you can check the whatever the impairment testing or whatever the recoverability test calculation. If you have done a kind of a investment in private limited company, so then you can't get the share prices, right, share prices. So, then private limited company, what you can do is you can do kind of a valuation, that investment recoverable value should be tested through kind of a estimate. So, then you have to test that calculation as well. So, after doing those calculations, you have to check the arithmetical accuracy and the assumption used for that calculation. And then what you can do is you can check subsequent settlement, right, subsequent settlement. So, then if you have a debenture, so then you have confirmation, and recently it's getting mature, right, you have received the cash. So, then you can cross check with that, and if you have a direct confirmation, you don't want to do alternative procedures, right. So, they keep in mind that. And further, for financial asset, we are using SLFRS 9 plus you can use SLFRS 13 for whatever the asset we are doing fair valuation. Accordingly, we have to do our disclosures, maturity profile, and then fair valuation, observable inputs, unobservable inputs. If there is any impairment should be done based on the expected loss method. Under expected loss method, whatever the institution you have done your investment, you have to do your this impairment for based on the rating. They have risk rating, based on risk rating you have to do the impairment. So then you have to comply with the SLFRS 9 and SLFRS 13 requirement. So then disclosure should be adhered with that. So the management is responsible to that. Auditor itself, you have to cross check those requirements. So then after completing all those things, you can ensure the intangible asset balance. Basically request is you can do through full substantive approach. අපි දැන් හිතනවා ඔයාට මේ අන්ඩර්ස්ටෑන්ඩින් එකත් එක්ක ඔයාට ඉන්ටැන්ජිබල් ඇසෙට් සම්බන්ධව මොන හරි ක්වෙස්චන් එකක් ආවොත් ඔයාට ඔඩිට් අප්‍රෝච් එක ඩිසයිඩ් කරලා මොන ඔඩිට් ප්‍රොසීඩියර්ස්ද කරන්න ඕන කියලා ඩිසයිඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒකේ ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන ඔඩිට් ප්‍රොසීඩියර්ස් ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්නේ ඔයාට හම්බ වෙන intangible asset එක relate වෙන විදියට තමයි ඔයා decide කරන්න. So then we can go forward now. Right, so we discuss about types of investment and related audit procedures as well. So then according to the nature of the industry, the nature of the company, they may have different set of investments, right? So then accordingly auditor should decide, auditor should evaluate their risk and should decide audit procedures. So then as we discuss, that may be reliant control approach or substantive procedures approach. Mostly we are using for investment is the substantive procedure, full substantive approach, because most of the companies, they don't have much investment facilities, investment assets. So then mostly they are using full substantive approach. But if you are dealing with a kind of a company having more investments, so then we can go to TOC plus substantive approach. So then with this understanding, we are going to complete the investment, the audit procedures related to investments, and we can move to the next balance relating to significant account relating to the statement of financial position. That's about inventory. That's a key balance we are going to discuss here. That's about inventory. So then before we are moving to inventory significant account, we need to study the inventory process. Inventory process in the sense we can say inventory system or inventory Scots, right? So under inventory Scots, it's similar with the purchasing Scot. අපි inventory කතා කරොත් purchasing procurement process එක අපි already කතා කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ process එකේම තා පොඩ්ඩක් ඉස්සරහට කතා කරන්න තමයි අපි plan කරන්නේ. එතකොට inventory management process එක කොහොමද organisation එකේ කියන එක critical aspect එකක්. අපි මේ process එකට එන්න කලින් inventory කියලා ගත්තම it's a very common balance for whatever the organization. Some of the organizations they don't have inventory balance. Inventory කියන්නේ critical balance එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ significant account එකක් නොවෙන්න පුළුවන් සමහර companies වලට. මොන වගේ companies like insurance company, bank, or power and energy companies, they don't have much inventory items. මොකද යාළගේ operation process එක සමහරවිට service එකක් දෙන company එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් power and energy company එකක් ගත්තොත් ඒ company එකට තියෙනවා මේ මොනවද power plants. එතකොට ඒක PP&E වලට තමයි ඒක වැටෙන්නේ. power plants තියෙනවා. ඒක wind power or the hydro power use කරලා hydropower sources use කරලා අපි electricity produce කරනවා. එතකොට electricity produce කරපු electricity directly national grid එකට provide කරනවා. එතකොට අපි inventory කියලා ලොකු දෙයක් නැහැ. සමහර වෙලාවට spare parts තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. If there is such kind of a balance, we need to verify. So then service related company, so then inventory balance may be not that much significant, right? So that's the nature. So based on the industry, based on the nature of the company, inventory balance may be vary. Some of the companies having work in progress, some of the companies material, some of the companies they are having only finished goods. So then that depends on the nature, right? So with this understanding, we can go to the inventory process. Basically, if we focus about a kind of a manufacturing company, we have a detailed inventory process because we are dealing with inventory, material inventory, work in progress inventory, as well as this finished good inventory, right? So we are having set of source documents, right? And processes relate sub processes relating to inventory process. Normally, if one department, if they require material, what they do is they are doing kind of a material requisition. Based on that, we do purchase order, right? Purchase order, and according to that, we are receiving goods, and then we update to the bin card, right? So then if we are doing three-way matching, we have to cross check this purchase order and GRN with the invoice, right? We have not mentioned here the invoice. Invoice also a source document. According to the good receive note, we update the bin card. Bin card එක කියලා කියන්නේ inventory in and out record කරන card එකක් හරි නැත්නම් ledger එකක් හරි excel working එකක් හරි නැත්නම් system එකක් හරි. So then ඒකේ තියෙන්නේ in and out කරපු date එක, amount එක, quantity එක mention වෙනවා, right? So then stock sub ledger company එක තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ගොඩාක් inventory තියෙන company එක stock wise sub ledgers තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට stock sub ledger වල total එක, total inventory ledger එක, total ledger එකට, total control account එකට tally වෙන්න ඕන, right? Material transferring note. Material transferring note කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? අපි material inventory store එකේ ඉඳලා material transfer කරනවා production එකට. production එකට transfer කරනකොට අපි document එකක් use කරනවා නේ. ඒක අපිට material transferring note කියලා identify කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ material මොන හරි send කරපු දෙයක් ආයි return කරනවා නම් ඒකත් අපි document එකක් base කරන් තමයි return කරන්නේ. අපි හිතමු location දෙකක නම් තියෙන්නේ. අපිට transport කරන්න තියෙනවා නම් එතකොට ඒක අපි consider කරන්න වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට focus කරන්න වෙනවා WIP තියෙනවා නම්. WIP තියෙනවා නම් ඔයාගේ inventory process එක, inventory valuation එක ගොඩක් complex වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද WIP work in progress levels වලට වාගේ inventory value එක change වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට WIP ඉඳලා finish good වලට transfer කරනකොට ඔයාට proper documentation එකක් තියෙන්න ඕන. WIP to finish good transfer note එකක්, right? So then company එකක තියෙන්න පුළුවන් inventory order levels තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි අනිත් exam වලත් අපි study කරලා තියෙනවා economic order quantity එක තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. reorder level එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. maximum inventory level එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. minimum inventory level එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක අපි inventory කියන්නේ company එක consistency එක depend වෙන එක factor එකක්. එතකොට අපි consistent විදියට company එක කරගෙන යන්න නම් so we should have proper inventory process. So then the material supply should be continued. Otherwise we can't continue the operation. So then for that we should have proper monitoring aspect for the order levels. That's why we are having inventory order levels, right? So then annual stock verification. Annual stock verification කියලා කියන්නේ that's also a control in the organization. That's a kind of a preventive control, right? So what we have to do is we have to do kind of an annual stock verification. අපි දැන් අහලා තියෙනවනේ මේ දවස්වල stock count එකක් තමයි යන්නේ. හැම company එකක්ම stock count එකක් යනවා. stock count එකක් ගිහිල්ලා year end stock එක stock value එකයි stock report එකේ value එකයි cross check කරලා exact stock එක අපි financials වලට adjust කරන්න. ඒක stock verification කියන එක key aspect එකක්. ඇයි? stock verification කියන එක key aspect එකක්. So then you know that whatever the financial question, financial reporting question, you are having adjustment related to stock, right? Year end stock this much according to the stock verification. ඇයි අපිට එහෙම stock balance එකක් දෙන්නේ? මොකද reason එක? stock කියන asset එක, inventory කියන asset එක, we are not keeping kind of a continuous account. Continuous account. Why? We have opening stock. Opening stock is there, and then year end stock verification we are getting a value like 60,000. Opening stock is there 20,000, right? So whatever the purchases and then sales, returns, we are keeping separate accounts, right? We are keeping separate accounts because we don't have one accounts put in the debit credit entries, right? So then inventory is asset, but debtor also asset, and then cash also asset. For cash we have the opening balance, right? Whatever the cash receipt debit, cash payment credit, we can get the year end balance. But here, so that we are keeping opening stock balance, so other debit credit entries we are keeping in separate accounts. What is the reason for that? Reason is, so then this stock related transactions we are doing in two different prices. So then whatever the purchases and this opening balances are in cost, but sales and returns, those are in selling price, right? So then if you are putting those things into a one account, all those prices may be getting mixed. So then end of the day we can't calculate the exact gross margin. So then to calculate exact gross margin, we are preparing the trade account, right? Trade account. So then under trade account, here we have the opening balance, we have the sales and purchases, year end inventory. Here we are getting gross margin or gross loss. So then under trade account we are going to summarize all these stock related transactions to calculate the gross margin. So then because of that we don't have kind of a continuous recording GL entries for this GL entries in a one account for inventory balance. ඒක නිසා තමයි අපි හැම වෙලාවෙදිම year end එකේ stock එක අපි independently check කරලා ගන්නෙ. අපිට GL account එකක් විදියට year end balance එක ගන්න GL account එකක් නැති නිසා හැම ගානකම අපිට year end stock එකක් දෙනවා, right? එතකොට stock verification කියන්නේ අපිට physical existence එක ensure කරන්න management එක කරන that can be done annually or quarterly or monthly, that depends on the company policy. That's a kind of a good control to ensure the existence of the inventory balance as at the reporting date, right? This is the basic process around the inventory. එතකොට inventory අපි manage කරන්න අපිට inventory system එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, අපිට book ඒ කියන්නේ physical books තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, නැත්නම් අපි මොන හරි barcoding mechanism එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට ඒ වගේ technological aspect use කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි example එකක් විදියට pharmacy එකකට යනවා. pharmacy එකට ගිහිල්ලා prescription එක දීලා medicine එකක් drug එකක් ඉල්ලනවා. ඒක pharmacy එකේ කියනවා මේ branch එකේ නැහැ. ඔයා මේ මොනවාද මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙන branch එකට ගිහිල්ලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඔයාට මේ මෙඩිසින් එක කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට ඔයාට ඉන්වෙන්ටරි සිස්ටම් එකේ තමයි යා බලන්නේ. එතකොට ඉන්වෙන්ටරි සිස්ටම් එකේ ඉන්වෙන්ටරි කෝඩ් එක relevant කෝඩ් එක ගැහුවම තියෙන branch එක යාට පෙන්නනවා. So then company may have a proper system to ensure that efficiency relating to the inventory handling process, right? So then what are the business risks relating to this? අපිට ඉන්වෙන්ටරි සම්බන්ධව මොනවද තියෙන්න පුළුවන් රිස්ක්? ඉන්වෙන්ටරි ඩැමේජ් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඉන්වෙන්ටරි මිස්යූස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එම්ප්ලොයිස්ලා මිස්යූස් කරලා මේවා පර්සනල් යූසේජ් එකට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ඉන්වෙන්ටරි ඕවර් කැපැසිටි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ගොඩාක් ඉන්වෙන්ටරි ගෙනල්ලා වෙයාහවුසස් ෆිල් වුණොත් අපිට වෙයාහවුස් ඇඩ්මින් කොස්ට් එක වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒ වගේ අපි ඉන්වෙන්ටරි පර්චේස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ මාකට් ප්‍රයිස් එකට වඩා ගොඩක් වැඩි ප්‍රයිස් එකකට වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඇප්‍රූවල් වල නැති ඉන්වෙන්ටරි වෙන්න පුළුවන් අපි පර්චේස් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපි quality එක ඉන්වෙන්ටරි එකේ අපිට අවශ්‍ය quality එක නෙමෙයි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So then there are many business risk. That's why we are having separate controls, separate approvals, separate source documents. We need to ensure who is the person responsible for that. We should have kind of a accountable process around inventory because it's the core business activity. It's a core business activity that's influence to the company continuous process, right? So then we should have a proper control set up to address the business risk from the management side. So වාගේ procedure වාගේ study guide එකේ stock handling part එක බලා ගන්නව නම් ඔයාට මේ process එක cover කරගන්න පුළුවන්. in detail ඔයාට ඒක study කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක whatever the company you are focusing, you have to customize these steps for that particular organization or particular company, particular industry, right? So then this business risk will impact to the audit risk as well, right? So then auditor once auditor evaluating these controls and all, so then he can comply with reliant control or not reliant control. He can assess the inherent risk as well. As a combination, he can do kind of a combined risk assessment evaluation once he is planning their audit procedures, right? So then we can go forward. Before we are going to audit procedures, here we have mentioned here the whatever the order levels as a monitoring function. Company can focus about order levels, like we can calculate economic order quantity. So then what is the exact amount we have to order to have kind of efficient inventory process, to saving most inventory holding cost and the ordering cost. So then we have to maximize, we have to save the cost. If we are ordering more inventory, so then company should incur a significant cost to handle the inventory balance. So then if we are ordering less, we have to make a ordering cost because we have to arrange transportation. So then there may be different cost relating to the ordering process. So then ordering cost and the inventory handling cost, inventory holding cost should be minimized, right? To minimize that cost, we need to identify what is the exact or economical order quantity, right? Economic order quantity, right? So then we can calculate by using this formula. So then you in the study guides you are having questions, and relating to this you can do some maths and you can calculate EOQ, right? I am not going to do calculation here. You can do calculation by using the past papers as well as some other study texts. This is a kind of a common formula you can use, right? So then again we may have reorder level. Reorder level mean at which point we are going to make a reorder. මොන point එකේදී ආයිත් අපි order කරන්නේ. එතකොට එතෙන්දී අපි බලන්න ඕන අපිට කොච්චර තව මේ order කරන period එක ඇතුළත ඕන වෙයිද කියලා. ඒකදී අපි බලන්න ඕන factors මොනවද? අපිට maximum කොච්චර දවස් යයිද? Maximum consumption rate, right? Maximum consumption rate. maximum consumption rate කියන්නේ මේ වැඩියෙන්ම පාවිච්චි කරොත් මේ රේට් එකෙන් තමයි use කරන්නේ. ඒක අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් per day කියන්න පුළුවන් per week කියන්න පුළුවන්. maximum lead time කොච්චර කල්යයිද මේ ටික කම්පැනියට එන්න. maximum මෙච්චර delay වෙන්න පුළුවන්. maximum මෙච්චර යන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න ඒ දවස් ටිකේ ඒ period එකේ continuously supply එක යන්න තියාගන්න ඕන inventory set එකට තමයි කියන්නේ අපි reorder level කියලා. ඒ level එකේදී අපි order කරොත් maximum delay වුණත් අපිට continuously process එක යන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ order level එකේදී අපි economic order quantity එක order කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට company එකට inventory ටික transport වෙනකොට අපිට මේ inventory ටික maximum විදියට use කරලා තිබුණත් අඩු ඉවර වෙලා අපිට operation එක නවත්තන්න වෙන්නේ නැති වෙනවා, right? And then maximum level කියන්නේ අපේ inventory එක වැඩිම යන්න පුළුවන් maximum level එක කොච්චරද කියලා. එතකොට අපි ඔන්න දැන් අපි order කරනකොට අපේ අඩුවෙන්ම තමයි පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ period එකේ. අඩුවෙන්ම පාවිච්චි කරලා අපි ඉක්මනටම inventory ටික ගෙන්නගෙන තියෙනවා. එතකොට අඩුවෙන්ම පාවිච්චි කරලා reorder level එකට order කරපු quantity එක add කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මෙන්න මෙතන calculate කරපු reorder level එක තියෙනවා. order කරපු quantity එක add කරනවා. minimum consumption and minimum lead time. අපි අඩුවෙන්ම පාවිච්චි කරලා අඩුවෙන්ම තමයි period එක ගිහින් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපි පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන්නේ ගොඩක් අඩුවෙන්. එතකොට අපි තියාගත්ත reorder level එකෙන් ගොඩක් අඩුවෙන් තමයි use කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට reorder quantity එක add කරාම අපිට එනවා maximum level එක. company එක එතකොට maximum inventory level එක තියෙන්නේ මෙච්චරයි. කවද ගත්තත් අපි අවුරුදු දවස් 365න් ගත්තත් inventory වැඩිම තියෙන්නේ මේ ගන්න. එතකොට මේ inventory 365 වලට ගැලපෙන්න තමයි අපිට warehouse arrange කරගන්න ඕන. security ලා arrange කරගන්න ඕන. නැත්නම් insurance එක දාන්න ඕන අපි maximum level එකට. අපි maximum level එකට වැඩියෙන් insurance cover එකක් අරගෙන useless to the company, right? So then maximum order level එක calculate එකේ benefit එක ඒක. right? minimum order level එක කියන්නේ අපේ අඩුවෙන් inventory එක අඩුම වෙන්න පුළුවන් amount එක. එතකොට reorder level එක තියෙනවා. reorder level එකේ average usage එක average lead time එක අඩු කරාම අපිට එනවා minimum level එක. minimum මෙන්න මෙච්චරක් විතර inventory අඩු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. So then we should have kind of a benchmark in an organization to monitor the inventory process, right? So then in other terms we can calculate inventory holding period or inventory turnover. So then those are financial ratios. ඔයාලා එතකොට ඒ ගැනත් මෙතන කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ මේ focus එක තියෙන්න ඕන. අපිට inventory turnover ratio එක calculate කරන්න පුළුවන්. inventory holding period එක calculate කරන්න පුළුවන්. Those can be used for inventory monitoring aspect. So then I hope you have a proper knowledge about now the process of